today about spirituality, and so you have business and same time you're a very spiritual person. So my question is, which spiritual values that you are practicing from young days?
Let me illustrate my ideas and my values by giving you an element of ancient Indian wisdom, which I encountered many, many years ago when I visited India. There was a phrase that struck me like a flash of lightning, and it will stick to my memory and my consciousness forever. That phrase said, "Be fully committed to what you do. Dedicate yourself totally to your duties, but be detached from the fruit of your work." This to me is central to values, and I believe that apart from this, the reasons for my success, whenever I was successful, it was based on honesty, reliability. It was due to that I said what I thought and that I did what I said. Also, I believe an important element in success is compassion and service, putting service for others, service for mankind above self. I believe the phrase, "raise yourself to help mankind," is also part of ancient Indian wisdom. I don't know exactly where it comes from, but I've made that a guiding line for myself. So these are the values I cherish, and I try to live by these principles.
So how the spiritual practice help to you in your practical life?
Good
how
point.
It helps you practical in daily life? This.
I think the main issue is clarity of thought, clarity of consciousness. Spiritual practice helps to create this clarity, to bring order into an otherwise chaotic way of thinking. When we do not control our thinking, our mind, our thoughts, then a myriad thoughts crisscross our brain, and we do not reach any particular goal. But it's just a chaos. Now, with spiritual practice, that can help us to become more focused and to go from A to B in terms of our spiritual development. Also, it helps to become more patient and understanding with others, and to have access to their motives, to what makes a person act or think or feel the way this person does. Seeing and feeling another person's point of view is also, in my experience, a consequence of spiritual practice.
So can you tell something about your spiritual experiences you made? Which are the spiritual experiences you made in that place?
I find it really very, very difficult, almost impossible to speak about spiritual experiences. That is something very deep and very personal, and I see a great problem or challenge in extroverting spiritual experience. But let me say that I see all of life, my entire life, as a spiritual experience, and not only this life, but also all the previous incarnations in a way were spiritual experiences. So may I again refer to ancient Indian wisdom. When I studied the Bhagavad Gita, I stumbled across a phrase where the text said, "Keep the Lord's name on your mind and in your thinking and feeling all the time, at every and each moment. Keep Him present in your consciousness." This is a very valuable spiritual experience that I would like to mention.
So which role plays spirituality in leadership and in strategic decision making in business, for example, or that?
I think spirituality in leadership is essential. Any good leader needs to be a spiritual person, otherwise he will not be able to fully understand life and fully understand other people and what makes them move. Let me give you an example. In my young years, in my 30s, I came across the teachings of Rudolf Steiner, a great Austrian-born philosopher and teacher of mankind. And he, among many other initiatives, he founded the Waldorf schools, the Rudolf Steiner schools. And he recommended to his teachers, to the teachers of that school, that every night before they fall asleep, they invite each of their students in front of their spiritual eye, communicating with this student and having a spiritual conversation, which can be very intense. And I thought, if this works between a teacher and a student, then let me try it between a boss and employees. And to my great surprise, I found that it was a fantastic instrument to communicate with my staff, with especially with the key people, but also with each worker. And at that time we had about 50 workers at the factory, and I tried each night, or as often as I could make it, to think of each one, at least for a moment or for a few moments, keeping that person in my consciousness and communicating quietly with him or her. And I found that it was a great way of a dialogue, much better than a physical dialogue where the consciousness comes in, and all our habits and our prejudices and whatever we attitudes and habits play in. This kind of conversation is pure, and because of this, being held on a different plane, on a different level, it's so much more efficient and powerful. So much to spirituality and leadership.
Okay, very interesting. Thank you. And what is a business? You have some business ethics, some points. Which points are important in business? You can point out something?
Yes. It boils down to the awareness that we are all one. When we consider a family or a community or a nation, a country, any group of people or mankind or our planet or the cosmos or the universe, when we are able to see that as one organism, then we realize that what I do to somebody else, I do to myself. What I do for myself, I do for the world, for all creation. So there is an old saying in the Bible, do unto others as you would want to be done unto you. And I believe this is the essential rule in business ethics. Plain and simple.
Thank you very much, Mahatmaya, for the
Thank you,
very
Melanie.
interesting
Thank you for the
report about
interview.
spirituality.